everybody, it's me, the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. It's Monday night, and this is Twisted Stitches. Yay, the weekend is over. Wow, what a weekend it was. I'm actually a little hoarse, I think. Um, Vogue Knitting Live is a lot of fun. We have a great time. And I will tell you that the Monday after the Sunday is yeah, I'm a little comatose from all that talking, but the work doesn't stop then, because then all the orders get shipped out. So for all of you who were kind and generous and placed an order over the weekend, thank you so much. And shipments are going out, and we're just having a blast. It's another day here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. I thought I would start the day this evening and bring back this little one-arm Scrabble shawl, because I really felt like it didn't get a chance to have its due with so many other things that we were talking about. And it arrived just as the show was starting last week, or on Thursday. So let me tell you a little bit about this fun piece that Pam Atkins designed. So we've got, Pam very creatively took a simple shawl and created created it into something that's really very special. And it can be knitted with a variety of yarns. And we just thought that the contrast between the fluffy and the very airy look of Fulu, and then the openness that you achieve with 50 mohair shades really created a fun piece. And so it's really cool, because this is really a scarf, if you think about this, worked horizontally with a sleeve that's then sewn up here. And then as you once you get to the length of your sleeve, then you're increasing stitches across your shawl to give it the fullness of, the wrap around your back. So you can see that it's a full shawl across the back, and the fringe just adds another little layer of texture and highlight to it. So nice fun piece to wear. You can keep it this, it's kind of sporty-ish, but can lend itself to evening wear. And depending on the colors that you make it in, it can be very dressy or very casual. And today casual is the new dressy. So we just have to keep that in mind when we're knitting. And this is another fun holiday gift to make as well. And Paul is chuckling, and I don't know why, but something is really funny on his end.
All right, we don't want to fall too far behind. We start the evening off by welcome everyone, and Heather Campbell shared. Nancy McClellan Ball, hello from West Hartford, and Andrea Whitmore, hi Paulette and Paul. Leslie Wells Flaherty, hi everyone, and Kitsy Demaray, hi from Cortland, New York.
Hey Kitsy, and everyone else who's on today. Are there more you're going to tell me about?
Yes, there are. We've got Jillian Goldridge. Hi, Paul and Paulette.
Hi, Jillian.
Glad to be joining you tonight. And Heather Campbell, wave from Wawa, Ontario.
Yay, our Canadian friends.
Is she at the Wawa store in Ontario?
I don't think she's at the Wawa store, Paul. Wawa, Ontario is a place.
Okay. Judy
Ron. She knows that Wawa is a store, as a convenience store.
Judy Rondo Snitkin, hello from East Lyme. Ooh.
Oh, hi, Judy Rondo Snitkin from East Lyme.
We've got Kathy Stoddard, hello, and Leticia Castro, hello from Miami, Florida. And Gina Bates is back. Oh, hi from me. And Heather Campbell says, Wawa is my town. And Lori Gianvelli Cooper, hello from Del Mar, New York. Welcome.
Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us know you're here. And we've got to get to that first person who shared, Paul, because I put my sharing stuff here. You started off with was it Heather Campbell who shared?
Let's take a look.
First person?
That would be Heather Campbell.
That's what I thought. Sometimes I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I remembered Heather's name. So if you were on for the first time this weekend as part of Vogue Knitting Live, thanks for coming back. And we have our Monday nights live are a little less formal than our Vogue Knitting Live, where this is just a half-hour show and we ramble through all the things that we want to share with everybody. And it's really more about community than it is about yarn. And we love our community of fans here. And we thank you all for all the sharing you're doing. So as I was talking about the Scribble show, the Scrabble, I keep calling it Scribble. You know why I keep calling it Scribble? I'm going to show you why. Because you see the way the stitches, this is your knitting through the back loop here. And it reminds me of when my mom used to show me how they practice penmanship in school. And they would do this little scribble with their pen to create the angle that they were going to do their penmanship on. And so when I saw this finished, I just and Pam named it the Scrabble shawl. It just reminded me of scribbles that my mom used to do in her school. So that's how I am always going to confuse it, just like I do 50 Shades of mohair. I always want to say 50 Shades of gray. So
Judy Rondos-Nitkin, hi Paulette, and Carolyn Wood, hello from Rio Verde, Arizona, and Judy Lightfoot, hi from New Zealand. I have the pattern and information. Thank you.
You got your pattern already, Judy? Wow! Yay! Yay! So you'll be all ready to start the knit along when we meet on Wednesday. Speaking of which, on that knit along, make sure you read the beginning of the pattern. The other day, I was so proud to show everyone where I was in my work. And there was someone else who was doing the knit along with us. And she said, mine looks different than yours. And I couldn't figure out why mine was looking different, except that I remembered later on that Paul so generously offered to do a live video for me while I was knitting so that I could show the folks how it was coming along. And when the video stopped and I picked my knitting up again, I just looked at the instructions and I began to knit. Except that what I didn't realize was the row that I had finished was the first 2 repeats of 8 repeats. So instead of knitting 16 rows and going on to the next instruction, I only knitted 2. So needless to say, I was taking my knitting out and starting over again. So read your instructions carefully and don't let your husband distract you when you're or your significant other distract you when you're knitting.
The part of Ellie that day was played by Paulette.
No. I was not distracted by a glass of wine.
And we have Janzi says hi.
Hi, Janzi. And speaking of Janzi, I've got to show you something. Janzi's a dear friend. She's the best friend in the world. And she also does lots of knitting for Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. So she's one of my elves. And she knitted something today and posted it online. And I wanted to show it to all of you because I thought it was pretty cool. And I thought it was a great way to introduce a little bit of a segment of our show today. So let me show this to you. I think I can go on my messages and find it easier than I can find it here. So take a look at this cowl. Very interesting. It's actually like almost a little capelet, but it's meant to be, you don't really want to stretch it over your shoulders. It's meant to be worn, kind of layered the way she has it here. But really interesting as the variety of yarns that she used. The 2 textures are really different. And sometimes when you mix textures, they work. And sometimes when you mix them, they don't work. And this worked out beautifully. And so what Jan used for her cowl here is she combined Uluru, which is a cotton blend. It's cotton, acrylic, and polyamide, along with a wool, a 100% wool. So when you put these two together, that you might think, well, how are those going to work? But the drape is really nice because there's a nice drape in the Alluro and some nice stability in the wool. So what you wind up with is the Alluro is able to flow very nicely, and then the bands of the wool in between give it some nice texture to hold that lace work together. Really very, very pretty combination. So I was looking at the yarns that we have here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, and I think I'm going to put together some nice little kits for this shawl here, and you'll see that on the website in the next couple of days.
Gloria Hamelthis, hello from Spring, Texas.
Hi, Gloria.
And Jackie Vandenberg, hi from West Bend, Wisconsin.
Wow, another Wisconsin fan.
And Jan Fisher 40, aka Janzy, says gorgeous combination.
Yep, thanks, Janzy. And so you can see that in the one arm Scrabble and in this new piece that you're going to see coming out, we're blending textures of yarns that you might not think would work well together, but it all depends on what you want to accomplish. We talk a lot about just changing that needle size can make such a big difference in the results and in the final outcome of your project. If you're knitting with a DK weight on the size of the needle that the pattern that the yarn calls for, and then you're knitting your lace or your mohair on that same needle, you're going to see the difference, how your lace is so much more open, which gives it the texture that you want it to have. Do we have comments there, Paul?
Gloria Freiheit, hello from Winona, Minnesota.
Hi, Gloria. I hope you're doing well.
And Beverly Reiser, hi from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, on the Michigan Lakeshore. It's cold. And Janzy says, blurry pic.
Oh, well, I'm sure it's a little bit hard to get a bright picture when we're showing you a picture from your camera.
And Beverly Reiser says, love that gold and red sweater behind you. Is it a kit?
It is a kit, Gloria.
Swancho.
That is the Sophie Swancho you're looking at. It got a lot of attention this weekend. And this Sophie Swancho is on our website. It's available in this combination of wools using, hand painted indulgent sport with a mohair blend. Again, adding texture to an otherwise, this is what I used here, to an otherwise plain yarn. So this was the base yarn that I used for the Swancho, and I mixed this gold. So I held the gold with the sport weight to create two things. Number one, a DK weight, and number two, the color and the texture that I wanted. So if you knitted this with just this color, it would be pretty, but it wouldn't be as pretty as when you blend it here. And then we use, of course, a solid DK weight for the accent. So that is called Sophie. It's SOPHI on our website, and it's available. You'll see two different sizes on there. So you'll see two different listings, and the sizes are separated. We also have it on the website using an organic merino by Patagonia. So you'll see it's kind of, I think it's in this color on the website in the Patagonia. So two different ways that you'll find that Sophie Swancho.
Nitty Gritty, I think you need to get your pen and paper out because Gloria Hamelthis shared.
Okay. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you for sharing the love here. I don't know if I spelled it right, but I'll know who you are if I pull your name. It's like phonetics. Okay. So that is, thank you for asking about the Sophie Swan Show. It's a very popular piece, and it's easy. It's a top down construction, no seams. You work through this part of you work from the top to here, and then you put your sleeves on you take this part and put them on stitch holders or scrap yarn. You finish your bottom, and then you come back and you finish your sleeves. Very, very simple construction on that.
Janzi says such a great project, and Jillian Goldrich shared.
Well, thanks, Jillian. You all, and let me say this. What you are doing besides winning yarn, which I'm sure is your objective, you're helping us by spreading the word about Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, and helping us to have more fans who enjoy more yarn and contribute to the show, because it's really about you all. That's what we're here for. So if there's something that you would like for us to work with you on to help you learn anything but brioche, because I'm not doing brioche right now, and anything but, I will if I don't know it, I will learn it for you and help you to do that. And someone asked today about a provisional cast on, and I know that we've demonstrated it before, but we have new fans, and I do believe that Gina, who asked about provisional cast ons, is a newer fan. So I'm going to demonstrate it one more time for us today, and I may demonstrate it again for us another time. Who shared now, Paul?
You might want to write down Janzi.
Yes.
And let's see here. Jillian Goldrich says, I tell everyone. And Judy Rondow Snitkin, I shared too. And Janzi says, my objective is helping you. I have plenty of yarn. So Judy Rondow Snitkin.
Judy Rondo.
Gina Bates says, thank you. I think she's saying thank you to Janzi.
Yep. Yeah. So we all help each other here, and that's fantastic.
Get it? Fantastic.
Oh, you're funny, Paul. Oh my God. And so he gets me all confused sometimes.
Don't encourage the camera guy.
Right. Don't encourage the camera guy. So provisional cast on. A provisional cast on is used when you're going to be needing the stitches that you're casting on with for something else, whether it's a 3-needle bind off later on, or in the case of the batad shawl, which also had a lot of interest this week and lots of comments around it. Your very first row, or your very first welt in your batad requires a provisional cast on, because once you knit your first 8 rows, remember we talked about this, you're then going to be knitting row 1 and row 8 together. So you want to make sure that you have to have live stitches in order to knit them together. Watch you don't fall, Paul. Don't trip. I see you giggling. What are you giggling at?
Gina Bates says thank you, and she says for a demo, LOL. And Janzi says Paul did a funny. Yeah. Don't encourage the camera guy, Janzi.
Do not, Janzi. I know you're his friend, but do not. So when you're going to do a provisional cast on, what we do is we start by using our trusty crochet hook. And if you don't know how to create a chain with a crochet hook, maybe you learned when you were a little child, as I did, to make a big loop and then pull the thread through your loop, through your big loop, and pull the thread through your big loop, and you see what you're doing there. So when you're using a crochet hook, and learning a basic slip stitch in crochet is always going to come in handy. There are times when you're going to need to trim an item or go around the outside of an item just to give it a smooth line, like something here. You might want to do a slip stitch all the way around. And it's used sometimes to smooth out seam lines. So a simple slip stitch is always good to know.
Oh, Janzi says, I love the camera guy.
So do I. So we're going to create a slip stitch or create a chain with our crochet hook. Whoops. And you always want to chain more stitches than you need to cast on. So we're going to pretend I need to cast on 10 stitches. So I'm going to make sure I have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 14 and 15. So I just cast it on 15. Now I'm going to take my tail that I started with, and I'm going to put a little knot on it here so that I remember which end I'm not going to use. Okay. So let that hang there. And then you're going to take your, let me see if I can break this with my hand. Yep. Oh, yeah. Coastline's not easy to do that with. Hold on a second. I've got to get myself a pair of scissors. Hold on.
Don't change that dial. We'll be right back.
Whoopsie. Oh, there they are. My little snippers. Okay. Okay. So now this is my, oops, sorry. Thank you, Paul. This is my original cast on.
It's easier to see if they're
I'm going to take my last, I cut my yarn. I'm going to pull it through and just don't pull it tight. Just make sure your tail is hanging. So now you've got your knot on this end, which is not the end you're going to use. You're going to turn your yarn the other way. And you can see that on this side we have chain, right? And on this side we have bumps. See those little bumps? You are going to take your knitting needle and you are going to knit into those bumps to pull up your cast on stitches. So take my knitting needle. Where's my other yarn? I'm using red and red. I hope that works. Okay. And so then I am going to go into this bump and I'm going to pick up my loop. Now, if you want, you could actually pick up your loops with your crochet hook and then put them onto your needle if this is too hard for you. So I've gone into my first bump and picked up a stitch, and now I'm going into the second bump and I'm going to pick up my second stitch and into the third and so on. And so then once you pick up all the stitches you need, you will then be able to begin your knitting. You just keep those stitches right there on that needle or right there on that chain. So you can see here, right here was where we just put our little slip knot through. So what later on, when we're ready, we can just undo that loop and pull those stitches out. So let me just show this to you. And then now I'm going to start my knitting just as if I had cast it on, and I'm going to knit my first row. So my stitches, my cast on stitches are attached to this waste yarn.
Gina Bates, how to join in round when doing this?
You join in the round once you get your cast on done. So you do your chain, you cast on your stitches, and then when you knit your first round around, you join it in the round.
And Mary Jane O'Malley says, funny you are showing this. This is how I cast on the descent cowl.
Okay. That's interesting, even though it doesn't call for provisional cast on. But that's, so I'm wondering what you do with your stitches then. So I'm just going to do a quick couple of rows here to show you. In this case, I just went backwards.
Gina Bates says, perfect. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so now let's just say it's time for us to do something with those stitches that we casted on our provisional cast on. Now what we do is that, okay, so here's my knot, right? We know we are not going to take out our provisional cast on from that side. We're going to take it out from this side. So what we're going to do here is we're going to unknot our loop, right? That was our last chain. And then we are going to, hopefully my yarn does not do funny things that it's not supposed to do. And we are going to, there we go, take out all the, now you see I've got live stitches here. So I can pick up my stitches as I go along. Now I'm going in the opposite direction, folks. So this is just for demonstration purposes to show you what happens when you take out your provisional cast on. You have your live stitches that you then pick up and do whatever the pattern tells you to do next with them. So that is how a provisional cast on works.
By all means, do try this at home.
And yeah, you know, I've got some folks who are starting a one of the sweaters by Jody Long, and they're wanting me to help them get started. And one of the folks is getting back to knitting after so many years. And I said, you know, go home and practice your knitting with scrap yarn. Don't practice on this great yarn from the Glam Haze that if you have to take it out, you're going to have issues with it. And you're going to be so disappointed in what happens to the yarn when you have to pull it out.
Leticia Castro, that is a very interesting way to cast. Double clapping hands emojis. Andrea Whitmore, cool. And Mary Jane O'Malley, I keep them as base of stitches, sort of modification. Thanks for showing. Every night, a new piece of info.
Well, you know, after 4 nights, I want to make sure that I bring you something constructive, as in addition to projects and things that we can, you know, that you can find here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. We really want to keep you informed of ways that you can do your knitting a little bit, you know, do a little more with your knitting. So where are we with time?
Sandy Libby Cook, great demo. I need a refresher lessons.
Okay, well, you know, we're always here to do those. So if there's something else that you want to see, let us know, because we do our best to bring fresh ideas to you each week, but you never know. And if there's something that we've done before, it's not going to hurt to do it again.
Pamela Rose Atkins shared.
Well, thanks, Pamela Rose Atkins.
And it's not too late for the knit along, is it?
Oh, no. We are, let me get this here.
Janzi says, where's Ben? While you're writing down, we're going to zoom in on Ben. Hey, Ben. Ben, Janzi is asking about you, boy.
Where is he? He's in his
Hey, Ben.
Oh, he's got his
Hey, Ben.
Is he ignoring you?
I think he's out cold. He's an old boy, that boy.
Yeah, he's getting old. He is getting old. So our knit along, our Zoom calls start on Wednesday of this week. We're going to be Zooming at 7:00. So what I'll do is I will be sending you your Zoom information Wednesday morning. I have learned in my lifetime not to send things too soon when it comes to Zoom classes, because people then forget where they put their email. So I'm going to send you your information on Wednesday. So if you haven't joined the knit along yet, this is the project that we're doing. It's not too late. This is called the Deja Vu Capelet. It's not too late to get involved in this and to be a part of the knit along. We'd love to have you join us. We meet on Wednesdays evenings and Saturday mornings. And if you don't get your kit before we start, it's okay, because it's not instructional knitting. So we encourage you to get your knitting started as soon as your kit arrives. But if you decide to join us tonight and your kit doesn't arrive by Wednesday, it's okay. You can still join us on the call Wednesday night and, you know, get some tips and ideas from the folks who did get their yarns already. So we're more than happy to have you join us all along the way. It's not structured where you have to do this much one week, this much another week. And so we're you work at your own pace. If you want to knit more slowly, that's fine. If life gets in the way, that's okay too. You can join us on the next call. You can attend as many of the Zoom meetings as you like, and we would love to have you. So, all right. So tonight, I have two things that I want to close out our show with. One, of course, is to thank you for sharing, and so the we're gonna draw for a prize. And tonight, what we have is we have a skein of Gadifra yarn.
Tell them what they're going to win, Paula.
I went faster than the announcer. So Gadifra is one of the. It's a great yarn. It's a really. I love it. It's very. I call it a sophisticated yarn. It's just a great feel. So there's this lovely design magazine by Gadifra, and it has so many lovely patterns in it using the Gadifra yarns. So tonight we're going to our winner is going to get a skein of Gadifra yarn, the magazine, and a Gadifra tote bag. So this is my way of saying a thank you to all of you for being such loyal fans. And we're going to draw that now. And then I want to close with something that I thought was really important. Well, it was important to me today when I saw it. So I wanted to share it with all of you.
Leslie Welsh Flaherty, love Gadifra yarns. And Janzi says, hi, Ben.
Mm-hmm. No, I want my Facebook page. I don't want, this is it. Okay, I found it. All right. So first I'm going to draw our name.
Remember, your name stays in there.
I'm mixing it up. You're going to draw, Paul? Okay. Pick me.
Who wants to win?
Pick me. He's so funny when he drops it in my hand like that.
And the winner is...
Drum roll. Oh, my God.
Janzi, Jan 40.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. Well, Janzi, you said you had enough yarn. You just got a little more. So that's going to be for you. I want to close with something that is very pertinent to our time right now. And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, things change. And so I thought I would read something. This is about people. It's got nothing to do with politics. We don't talk about politics here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. And it's a quote from a book by Kitty O'Meara. And the quote says, "And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows. And the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed." I want to thank you for letting us join you in your homes every week. I hope we're helping you to spend this time and heal with the rest of the world. Thank you so much for being part of Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. We'll see you next Monday.